Carl Gustav Jung said about the shadow self, "What if the part of you that feels hardest to face is also the part that has the most to teach you?" Carl Gustav Jung believed that each of us carries a hidden side, not a monster, not a curse, but the disowned pieces of our personality that we would rather not see. In this video, we are going to explore Jung's idea of the shadow self in simple language, so you can understand what it is, why it matters, and how to work with it in everyday life. Because when you understand the shadow, you stop being controlled by what you refuse to notice. What Jung meant by the shadow self. Jung's point was not that the shadow is automatically evil. More often, it is simply what has been pushed out of awareness because it felt embarrassing, painful, unacceptable, or unsafe to express. The shadow is not only made of what is dark. It can also contain unrealized potential, creativity, honesty, courage, and emotions we were taught to reject. In Jung's view, becoming whole means learning to face what we have hidden instead of pretending it does not exist. Why the shadow exists? The shadow exists because every human being learns, at some point, that some parts of themselves are accepted and others are not. As children, we quickly notice what brings praise, what brings criticism, and what must be hidden to feel safe, loved, or in control. Over time, we build a personality around what is rewarded, and the unwanted pieces are pushed aside. That does not mean those parts disappear. It means they go underground. And what is hidden does not vanish, it often comes out sideways. This is why the shadow can show up in projection, when we strongly react to traits in others that we refuse to see in ourselves. It can show up in defensiveness, when a small comment feels strangely threatening. It can show up in overreactions, hidden envy, or repeated self-sabotage that seems hard to explain. The more we deny a feeling, the more power it can gain in the background. Signs you may be ignoring your shadow. One sign is projection. You find yourself intensely judging other people for behavior that stirs something uncomfortable in you. Another sign is defensiveness. Even gentle feedback feels like an attack, and you feel the need to protect your image right away. A third sign is overreaction. The situation is small, but your emotional response feels much bigger than the moment calls for. You may also notice hidden envy, resentment toward people who seem to have confidence, freedom, peace, or success you secretly want. Repeated self-sabotage is another clue. You say you want the relationship, the opportunity, the habit, or the change, but something inside keeps pulling you away from it. These patterns do not mean something is wrong with you. They may simply be signs that a buried part of you is asking to be seen. 5 simple ways to work with the shadow. Notice your triggers. When something makes you unusually irritated, ashamed, jealous, or reactive, pause and pay attention. Name the uncomfortable feeling. Instead of saying, "I am fine," try to be specific: angry, embarrassed, jealous, afraid, rejected, or hurt. Reduce judgment. Try not to call the feeling bad or wrong. The goal is to understand it, not to punish yourself for having it. Ask what emotion is being protected. Often, defensiveness or control is covering vulnerability, grief, fear, or longing. Reflect instead of react. Give yourself a moment before responding, and ask, what is this moment showing me about myself? These small habits can turn a painful reaction into a moment of self-knowledge. Closing takeaway. Jung's message about the shadow self was not meant to frighten us. It was meant to free us. The more we deny the hidden parts of ourselves, the more they influence our lives from the background. But when we begin to face them with honesty, patience, and compassion, we gain more choice, more balance, and more peace. So if you remember one thing from this video, let it be this: the shadow is not something to hate, it is something to understand. Self-understanding grows when we stop fearing the parts of ourselves we have kept hidden. And in that understanding, we move one step closer to becoming whole.